Alright guys, we're at Techno-Aid and they are running Mac 8.6 here, so this is going to be a brief tutorial on when we have to service the system and how to make sure things are set up properly. We are working with their Rizzo RZ220. As you can see right here, this is the printer. So some things we got to look at here is when you hit the Apple icon and go down into the chooser. And when we select the Rizzo, what you're looking for is to make sure it finds its communication right here. When it cannot see the Rizzo, this will disappear and this box will be empty. A couple of things we got to look for is making sure that Apple Talk is active, because that's what this thing is really talking over, is the Apple Talk. So we can get outside of our chooser here. When we look at our Macintosh HD, you can see where I put the Rizzo Rink Net C on here. What you're looking for is Rizzo Monitor. Once you run the Rizzo Monitor, give it a second and it will establish the communication and it'll tell you the Rizzo is ready to print. That lets you know that the Ethernet cable that is plugged from the RZ220 over to the back of this Power Mac, that is working and that we are online. As you can see up there, the IP address that we gave the Rizzo is 0.60. So this right here is a good sign. When you come here, you'll see this. This should not be an issue. But this is where you can double check while you're trying to make sure that you have good established communications. Alright, let's bounce out of that. We can get back out of that. The past couple of times that I have had issues, the problem has been with the Apple Talk. And I always forget every time I have to come back. But what you're going to be looking for is you go to the Apple icon, control panels, Apple Talk. Once you select the Apple Talk, you want to make sure that that Via Connect right there is set on Ethernet, not printer port. You're looking to print over Ethernet. And once that is done, when you grab that PPD file, that printer file, and dump it in the extensions folder, which I'll show you how to do in just a moment, then it will look for that Apple Talk over Ethernet. All that is pre-programmed through the install, and you really have to do nothing, and the Apple Talk will take over at that point. So let's get out of that, and I will show you where to look inside the Macintosh HD. When you look at the systems folder, extensions, what you can do is totally dump everything related to Rizzo inside here. You will see the keep scrolling, right there. So that is that chooser extension that we dumped in there. And then you can actually go through and just delete any of the Rizzo 220U items inside this extensions folder. And once you have done that, basically all you're going to do at that point is, let me shrink this down so we can see it all on the same page. Alright, so there's my extensions folder. This CD that we leave in here has the chooser extension. You can simply grab that, dump in the extensions, and it will install. So that's all you're doing, is dumping it inside that extensions folder. It'll go through, it'll run through the install, and it pretty much takes care of itself after that. Alright, for the most part, that's really everything. But once you go back, you can open up one of these Quark files. I just picked one of the recent ones here, and you're just going to go File, Print, and we can look at Printer. It will find the Rizzo 220 because that's our default once we install. We're basically just saying print. Give it a minute, it's going to process the job. It does take a minute, so don't panic. Now, as long as everything goes well and it does send the print job over there, once it's done creating all the commands, all this just goes away. If for some reason it does not establish that communication through the Apple Talk, then it will not work. But it shoots right over once that's done, and it starts printing all on its own. You just have to make sure that your interface is on beforehand, and once it's receiving that data, it starts to flash. Other than that, Bob's your uncle, and you have got Techno-Aid running yet again.